This is just a hilarious showdown moment between NPR, a WBUR Boston reporter, in an interview with Andrew Callaghan for his new documentary on HBO, kind of the inside story of January 6th. And I think it's actually a fantastic view, really, into like the heart of, I'm not going to call it radicalism because it almost deigns it too much in terms of what it is, but of, you know, of QAnon, of Jan 6, of some of the just general MAGA insanity, of which I think he gives a relatively human portrait of. But with this human portrait included, you know, interviews with Alex Jones and with other controversial figures, of which this lady just cannot compute. Let's take a listen.
What did you want to get from Alex Jones? The drinking with him while he lifted weights? I'm serious. I mean, you know, this is, you know, one of the most despicable Americans in our history. How do you think the Sandy Hook parents would feel about drinking with him?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Well, the lawyer, Mark Banks, who represented most of the Sandy Hook families, loved the scene. He told me that he thought the film was great.
I mean, she just cannot compute that there could be any substantive interview with Alex Jones for this documentary. The Sandy Hook thing and trying to align him with that as some sort of like platforming discussion is disgusting. The entire point of the documentary is to show the roots of clearly a significant event. To do that, you need to interview people who were, I don't even think Alex was necessarily key, but I mean, I guess to the whole ecosystem to try and understand that mindset. Why wouldn't you interview Alex Jones for that documentary?
How are you gonna have a documentary about January 6th and not talk to people who were involved in January 6th?
Yeah.
Like, how is that gonna, it's funny because, you know, the topic is something that the mainstream press is very interested in.
Yes.
They're very comfortable with.
Right.
They really wanna talk about it. But they're not totally comfortable with the way that Andrew Callaghan went about doing that. And we played before he got into it a bit with Don Lemon, because Andrew wanted to say to them, like, this was about January 6th, but it also was a critique of the media and of you guys sort of specifically, and the way that you divide people into these camps. I mean, basically, like the Matt Taibbi Hate Inc. thesis was an undercurrent, a meta-narrative of what was going on in this documentary, which I watched and I recommend to you guys too. And Lemon really, really took umbrage of that, didn't really know how to deal with that critique whatsoever. And then you have this line of questioning, which is like, how dare you interview Alex Jones? Which again, listen, Alex Jones, he is a despicable person. He has a gigantic platform. He doesn't need Andrew Callaghan to platform him.
That's a good point.
That's number one. Number two, he doesn't portray Alex Jones in a good light whatsoever. I mean, Alex Jones comes off looking like a fool and a clown, and totally disingenuous if you watch this documentary and the way that he's ultimately portrayed. But there's just such a, you know, there's just such a mindset and an instinct towards censorship and this whole like platforming concept that she's really struggling to get past.
She also did the same thing with Fox, and they always love to do this. They're always like, we're different from Fox. And the whole point of his documentary and his critique of the media is like, no, you're not. You're all the same. You're dividing people. And he really gets to that and reveals also her mindset for how she views herself in this discussion. Let's take a listen.
Right-wing media, and
So you don't consider Fox mainstream media?
not when you got Tucker Carlson saying that.
It's mainstream media.
Well, considered so by people at more media.
Fox is
leaning to
definitely
the right.
mainstream media.
Yeah, but they lie. How's that mainstream? No, I mean, I might be old school sitting here, but if I lie on NPR.
If they lie, that is mainstream. That's the whole point. She's like, if I at NPR, you know, I would get in trouble for saying so. No, first of all, NPR is the clown outlet which wrote that entire thing about why we're not covering the Hunter Biden laptop story, okay? So the idea that they're all solely interested in telling the truth and all that is BS. The whole point is that all of them are within a system which is bad, and they love to try and hold Fox out. It's like, no, you're just like Fox. Frankly, you're just not as good at it in some respects.
I don't even know why you'd want to make this case, because to me, like, Fox loves to posture as like, oh, we're outside the mainstream. We're not mainstream. We're different.
Yeah.
And I have always thought, first of all, that's absurd. You get the largest audience of any of the cable news networks. Of course, you are definitionally mainstream. So that's why I'm not even sure from her ideological perspective why you would want to make this argument, because you're actually backing up what the story they want to tell about themselves.
Yeah.
So.
No, I completely agree. The idea that they're not mainstream is absurd. All of them are part of a deeply flawed system. And I think Andrew did quite a good job of exposing it. By the way, people have kept messaging me asking us to have him on the show. We tried very hard to get Andrew on the show. Andrew, we've been trying very hard. Apparently you told our representatives that you don't want to come on, but hey, if you see this segment, we're not going to treat you in the same way as NPR or all of that. You are welcome on the show anytime, my friend.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.